Hello everyone and welcome back to another video game video. Today I'm going to be doing my review of Fuser by Harmonix. Came out on the 10th I think, so I've been playing it for about a week. I'm having a lot of fun with it and I'm just going to basically break down the game for you. Going to give my thoughts on it. Basically going to talk about the gameplay, going to be talking about like the DLC, pretty much everything about the game that I've played so far. There's a couple of things I haven't done in the game yet. I don't think I've done battles or the actually like recording songs. So you can actually record music in the game as well. Those are things I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna basically break down everything that I've done in the game. So this is by Harmonix, and from what I've read about it, it's supposed to be a follow up or somewhat a like in the same vein as a game they worked on called Drop Mix. So Drop Mix was made by Harmonix and Hasbro, and I think it was from what I can tell, it was a mobile game. I watched a couple of video reviews about it. A mobile game that ran off of probably like iOS, potentially Android, and it had a kind of peripheral, which was kind of like a board that had four different slots on it. You basically plug your phone into that, or probably like maybe link it up with Bluetooth or something, and then the game would come with these various cards that would represent different portions of songs. So you would have like drum tracks and guitar tracks and vocal tracks and so on. And that portion of the song would play once you put that card onto the peripheral that it was included with it. I think the app is still available. I don't think they are working on that game anymore at all. So I think basically it's I don't know if it's necessarily discontinued. Like you can still download the app and potentially pick up the game, but I don't think they're doing anything new with it. So what this is a basically a computer game, console game. It's available on I'm playing it on Windows 10 on Steam. It's available on I think Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch as well. But the way it works is you have various songs in the game. Each song, generally, there's a few that don't have these, but most of the songs will have four portions to the song. Usually you'll have like your guitar, your drums, your vocals, potentially like keyboards and other instruments like synthesizers, or like rap and hip hop songs, you have like turntable scratches and stuff like that. Each of those different components of the song is linked to a different button on your controller. You can play this with a keyboard and mouse as well. I'm using a 360 controller. But for example, the blue button will drop a drum track. The green button will generally drop a guitar track. The yellow button will drop like a synthesizer track. Sometimes it's going to be like a horn section if the song has horns. And your red button is going to drop a vocal track. You have four different turntables that you're working with whenever you're playing, and basically you can apply different discs or different records to each of those turntables. So you can basically have like let's say I'm gonna play a drum track, a guitar track, a vocal track, and like let's say a synthesizer track. They can be from the same song. They can be from a mix of different songs. So you can basically have the vocals from "Call Me Maybe" on there with the drum track to "Take on Me," and the like keyboard track to like "Never Gonna Give You Up," and potentially let's say a guitar track from "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine. You can kind of mix it up however you want. Um, there are there is a campaign in the game. The campaign is basically your tutorial. There's multiple levels. I haven't completed the campaign yet, but each one of those different levels introduces new kind of gameplay elements that you basically build on top of that. So in the first level, you're learning about dropping records on a downbeat, which I believe is like the first bar or the first section of a bar. Basically, I'm not particularly good with like music composition, but if you drop a record on a downbeat, it gets you more points. Or if you drop a record and later in that same level, you learn about pickup drops, where basically, let's say you hover over a song and it'll show you on this little time bar, if you drop this song at this moment, it'll be on a pickup, which will get you more points. So you can basically drop stuff on downbeats and pickups to score more points. There's ways to like remove records as they're playing, or to like mute records, so you can basically like turn off the vocals or turn off the guitar. Or you could also do what they call soloing a track, where basically you might have all four records on there, but you only have volume from the one that you're soloing, and then when you unsolo it, all the other ones come back on. So the campaign will basically guide you through like the basics of gameplay to where you're earning points. You earn stars like you would in like a Rock Band game or something like that. to where basically the more stars you get, you unlock different things. You unlock, like in-game currency to purchase additional songs or additional like outfits and like gear for your character. Um, I think there's what they call like there's like money currency or currency for songs, and then there's another currency that you can use on your like not equipment, but you're basically like your clothing, your shirts, your hats, glasses, gloves, stuff like that. You can also customize the way the stage looks, so you can have like, various like I want to have like instead of fog, I want to have like fireworks and stuff like that. So a lot of that's all kind of cosmetic, but it's kind of cool that you can totally tweak that out. So let's see where we're at here. So there's various modes to play as. So campaign is basically where you just learn the game. You can also do freestyle mode, where basically can just play as long as you want. Change up the mix however you want. If you just want to like basically play that, like put tracks on and play them and just listen to them, you can totally do that too. There's also co-op freestyle, which is pretty fun, which I've done a couple times. So in co-op freestyle, it's online. You basically join a lobby. You start off as a spectator, basically, and then when that round ends, it puts you into the player list. It then goes down that player list in order once the round starts. And you basically have a few minutes to basically play your mix and hopefully win the round. Basically, your people that you're playing with essentially will potentially make requests in the game, saying like, "Hey, I want to hear this song, or I want to hear this instrument, or I want to hear a song from this genre." You can then do that, potentially getting more points, and then it kind of like gets voted on. It's not very competitive, so it's definitely a lot of fun because you can basically just go in there and hear some pretty fun mixes, pretty cool mixes, and then when it's up to you, you can kind of like create your own mix. I've played a handful of games. I've won one, or technically won, because like you have the hottest mix is got awarded to me for that round. But the online co-op freestyle is cool. Basically, each level in the game basically teach you about, like I said, about different stuff. But you can earn stars, like I said about that. The freestyle multiplayer is cool. You can customize a lot of stuff in the game, so basically you earn in-game money to like customize your character. You can customize your crate, which is cool because your crate is essentially you can have multiple crates, but each crate you can assign different songs to those crates. You can customize the crates in campaign. You can customize them in freestyle. When you're playing through campaign, though, there are some levels that'll only allow you to add a certain number of songs, because there are certain songs that will basically have like an F next to them, meaning that whatever level you're playing next requires that song, so you can't actually remove it from the crate. So because like there's like levels where it'll say like play the drum track from this song and play the vocal track from this song, and then sometimes audience members will make requests that if you fulfill the request, you get more points, but they might want to hear a certain genre or a song from like a certain decade, or songs that have a certain instrument in them, or basically just a particular song in general. If they request a particular song, it doesn't have to be vocal. It can be like any of the tracks. So like they might want to hear something. Let's say they want to hear "Moves Like Jagger" by Maroon 5. You could basically play any portion of that song and fulfill that request. There also are request combos, which are interesting. So basically, when a combo happens, two people in the audience will request something at the exact same time. And basically, if you find a song that satisfies both of the requests, if you play that song, you'll basically earn a what was it called a request combo. So for example, last night I was playing and somebody wanted to hear a song that had turntables in it or turntable scratching, and somebody wanted to hear a rap song. So I happened to have "Bust a Move" by Young MC. So if I drop that, it's a rap song and it has that particular instrument. I satisfy both of the requirements for that request, and you get more points by doing that. And then the more points you get, the more stars you get. Um, Basically, once you and when you get like, I think there are certain levels where like if you get 3 stars, you of course like earn more money, but you also like unlock a certain like let's say at 3 stars you unlock this item for your character. If you get 5 stars, you unlock an additional item for that character as well, and then you can go in there and completely change up your style and all that kind of stuff. So what else? You can customize a lot. Again, I haven't tried recording anything or actually doing battles yet. Battles seem like they're interesting because basically it's like a multiplayer battle where you're just basically playing to defeat your opponent. I tried to get into a battle game and I wasn't able to find any opponents for that. I usually have no problem finding people to play the freestyle co-op with though. So There's also a bunch of cool stuff you can unlock later. You can unlock different instruments. So like the instruments, they once you scroll through your songs, instruments are on the far right, and you unlock different things. Like I've unlocked like a piano and some drums, so you can actually create your own like drum loops using that, and then drop that like you would drop any of the other parts of a song in the game. So you can basically go into your drum machine. You have like a pad where you can basically like click on different pads that trigger different sounds. You can basically record that into a loop. Once you record that to a loop, you basically just play it down, and it plays like any other part of the song. There are some requests that might get made by audience members that say like, "Hey, use a drum machine here," or use an effect, because you actually unlock effects later in the game, like like a flanger. You can unlock like a high-low pass filter, stuff like that. That basically some people will request that you actually use those effects as well. And those effects get introduced later in the campaign. So each campaign level feels like it builds on mechanics that were established in the previous like level, basically. So I think I'm like 4 levels into the campaign right now. I think I've just done the one where you can actually queue up records. So if you're playing on a controller, you basically or on a mouse and keyboard, the right trigger. I think you basically, or it might be the left trigger. I'm not sure. One of the triggers you basically can hold down, and you can select songs to drop at any time. And then when you hit both the left and right triggers at the same time, whatever songs you've queued up will actually start playing. You can do that with a keyboard and mouse by basically like right clicking, and then I think you hit a button on your keyboard to drop them all at the same time. You get basically bonus points for basically doing queuing on a like a downbeat or a pickup beat. So you kind of want to time your drops, so when you do drop a track, it actually like lines up and then gets you more points that way. So the mechanics are like fairly simple. They introduce, like I said, each level introduces something new basically. The game feels very freeform, more so than like say like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, because in those games you're basically just playing a single song and hopefully not failing. You're basically just trying to get a high score. In this one, you're, with the exception of some of the songs that you're required to use in certain levels, it's pretty much just up to you of how you want to create your own various mix. It's cool because you can also add stuff to your. You can add multiple instruments of the same instrument to your mix. So I can have one turntable playing drums. I can have another turntable playing drums. I could have another turntable playing guitar and another turntable playing guitar. I could have 4 drum tracks playing at the exact same time if I want to. If I want to have it get super chaotic, I could have just 4 vocal tracks going at the same time. It's probably not going to sound very good, but you can totally do that if you want to. It's all kind of like I said, very freeform and very much just like up to whatever you want to do in your mix. So overall, I'm really enjoying the game. I'm gonna get to my pros and cons here for really quick. So um, the pros is there's a ton of songs in the game to start. I think there's like 100, I think, potentially. And then it's basically like I said, like easy to learn. Kind of like there's not a lot to learn about it. It's basically just here's the mechanics. Here's how you can achieve these things in your mix, and then here this like it's like go out and it's like a sandbox basically. Just go out and basically throw down tracks and see what sounds good. So another thing that I really liked was there's no additional like equipment needed. You basically can play with a keyboard and mouse or a controller like I am. Multiplayer is fun. At least like I said, I've only done the co-op freestyle. I haven't done battles yet, but I'm gonna try to do battles here. Hopefully, I maybe been playing too early or too late to where people weren't playing that particular mode at that time. But I'm gonna give that a shot and see what I can do there. And we're gonna move into our cons here. So the cons are mostly just price based. So the price of the game is, I think, for what it is a little too expensive. It's $60 for the base game. I think a good kind of price range for this would have been maybe 40. I think 30 might have been a little too low, but 40 would be, I think, like a pretty good price point. And then the DLC is also pretty expensive. So there's 2 different editions of this game. There's a standard edition, which is 60. Like your regular edition, it just comes with all the stuff in the base game. And then there is a VIP edition, which is 100, which includes 25 extra songs, of course, the base game, and some cosmetic items. The DLC, I think on its own, is like $45 for 25 songs, which I think is a little too expensive. Luckily, you can go through and you can pick and choose what songs you want. So I've bought into like 3 songs so far. I bought "Ironic" by Alanis Morissette, "Linger" by the Cranberries, and I think "Crack That" by Soldier Boy, where it's like Superman or whatever it's called. I bought that. I might go in and buy a couple more songs, But most of the other songs in the DLC list I'm not particularly fond of or really particularly care for. So once they release more songs, I'll probably go in and pick and choose some of those. But I think roughly $2 a song is a little expensive. I think if you buy the entire 25 track collection, you maybe save $5 because it's like 25 songs at $2 a pop would be 50. But if you buy the 25 song pack, it's 45. One thing I would really want them to do, even though I'm not holding my breath about it, I don't think it's going to happen, is somehow like link if you can link a PSN account to it or an Xbox or Microsoft account to it, any DLC that comes out that you basically had paid for on Rock Band unlocks in Fuser as well. That would be really cool. I don't foresee them doing that because that would basically just save a lot of people a lot of money. But of course, they're going to want money, so they're probably not going to make it to where your DLC for the Rock Band games, whatever songs get converted into Fuser, you're probably going to have to rebuy. It would be cool to be able to basically just unlock the songs that you already own, but I don't really foresee that happening. And another cool thing that I think they should do at some point, maybe a mod will do this, is being able to upload, at least for your own use, your own kind of master tracks. Because like I remember there was like a garbage remix contest like 8 or so years ago when they released their fifth album, and it was a remix contest where they basically said, "Hey, here's all the master tracks of this song. Go ahead and download them, remix them," and then there was like a contest. So it'd be cool if you had like master recordings or even like your own music that you could potentially import into the game and then use alongside the music that's already in the game. That would be really cool. Like I said, maybe somebody will come up with a mod that'll do that. I don't necessarily foresee them doing that, Harmonix doing that on their own, but it'd be really cool if they did at some point. And then again, just making more music available because the Rock Band library is pretty enormous. So there's definitely quite a lot of songs I would like to see from the Rock Band games imported into Diffuser. Like there's a couple garbage tracks. It'd be cool to maybe like I remember there was like a Billy Joel track or track pack for Rock Band, which would be interesting to throw in and actually like remix with those. So hopefully more songs come. I'm sure not everything is going to be available just because of licensing. So I'm not sure when those licensing deals were made, but I'm sure there's some that are like no longer valid. So they would have to either like get new licensing for it or yeah, basically just get new licensing and then hopefully move in anything that they still have licenses for. And I foresee them basically being like $2 a song. Hopefully they do like song packs where if you want an entire artist collection of songs, they can do it like a 5 song pack for a certain price, but then allow you to pick and choose out of that as well. So that's basically my Fuser review. I'm really liking it. It's definitely a really cool like creative kind of way to like mess with music and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, the only downsides for me are the price and the DLC. The DLC being I think too expensive, and I think the game being $60, I think is $20 more than it probably should be. And maybe DLC should be $1 a song, not two. But that's gonna we're gonna have to wait and see if they eventually lower the price on some of those, or if they do like pack collections like they did with Rock Band. But that's my review for Fuser. If you like music games, I would probably recommend it, especially if you like doing like remixing and stuff like that, or you have any kind of like interest in like DJing. It might be fun to do that. I'm probably gonna do a few videos in the future where it's just me mixing stuff up, like doing various mixes. Probably not gonna be doing any kind of commentary on it, just because I don't want to distract you guys from the music. But I think on Fridays I might start doing some videos where I just upload myself, um, like creating mixes and playing those and having fun doing that. We'll have to wait and see on that, but I think I might do one of those on Friday. Again, that's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I want to thank you again for watching. You take care.